What's up, guys? From the title of this video, you know what this video is going to be about. Sword Art Online is an anime about video games. When I first watched Sword Art Online, I thought it was a great anime. Before I watched Sword Art Online, I only watched a few other animes at the time. I really actually enjoyed Sword Art Online. And it sparked something in me to watch more anime. After I continued watching more anime, that enjoyment I had for Sword Art Online kind of disappeared. The only thing I thought was what Sword Art Online could have been as a series. Don't get me wrong, Sword Art Online isn't a series that is terrible, but it's not a great. It could have been a great, but it belongs average. Let's start with the characters of this series. You got Kirito, who's the main character. You got Asuna, who's a side character, also a main-ish character. You got Yuno, you got Rika, you got Miles, you got Clyde, you have Alice, you have Ego from the newest series or season. You have all these characters, but it just feels like most of them are wasted. Most of them just are wasted. They're really wasted characters. Almost all the females in the series just like Kirito. Besides Asuna, who is his girlfriend, and then you got Alice, who is actually somewhat of a villain. Aincrad, the very first arc, the arc that I personally enjoyed the most. Kirito is among the lucky few who got their hands on a shipment of the game. He logs in to find himself with 10,000 other players, a world full of medieval weapons and gruesome monsters. However, in a cruel turn of events, the players soon realize they cannot log out. The game's creator has trapped them in this world until they complete all 100 levels of the game. Right here is what made Sword Art Online. This first arc, Aincrad. Don't get me wrong, there are other arcs that are good, and seasons and all that stuff. But Aincrad is what made Sword Art Online. Let's all be honest. It had so much potential to being great, just this arc alone. But they rushed it. They made it 13 episodes instead of 25 or 50. They could have easily made Sword Art Online longer and not just rush it. Because you just feel all the relationships Kirito grows and develops throughout the series. You don't gain an attachment, really. Like, even with Asuna, the love interest, there's legit one episode she just kind of talks to him, and then there's another episode where they go on an adventure, and, you know, they have to solve a murder mystery, and then the next one she likes him. It's just rushed. You just see Kirito from level 1 to level 20, you see Kirito level 20 to level 75. It's rushed. And that's the biggest problem with Aincrad, is that they had this great idea for the series, and they rushed it. They rushed it, and it was waste of potential. Really, that's what hurts the most about Aincrad. This is what made me like Sword Art Online in the first place, and it was just a waste. I mean, there were a few good episodes and good moments, especially when Kirito fought, the 45 boss? I forgot what level the boss was, but it was like, he fought that boss, and that was a dope scene. With Asuna and Kirito saving each other, but most of the scenes were okay, let's be honest. If we go back and look at it, but this arc was good, it just could have been better if it wasn't rushed. And that's the shitty part. That is really it. Fairy Dance arc. It has been 2 months since Kirito cleared Sword Art Online, saving thousands of players from the virtual prison in which they have been trapped. Unfortunately, 300 players remain for unknown reasons. Among them is Asuna, Kirito's lover from SAO. Alright, we don't even need to talk about this arc, really. This arc was bad. There was only a few things I liked. The music had some good music and a good opening. Well, Sword Art Online has mostly good music and good openings. Just one of them wasn't as good. But anyways, let's get back on track. And yeah, this arc just was not good. It just didn't have that same feel as Inkrat. It just didn't have the same tension. It had its own tension with Asuna being trapped, but it was just pathetic. And then let's not even talk about the villain. That guy's fucking pathetic. Yeah, that guy's useless. Terrible villain. One of the worst villains I've ever seen in an anime. And yeah, Fairy Dance arc. It had so many meaningless things in it, like the meaningless fight with his sister or stepsister, whatever. She liked him. He's like. The only thing I could say that this arc I liked was when he first joined the world and when he was fighting his way up to Asuna, but failed. Well, the very first time, not the second time. I liked the very first time when he lost. But everything else, they introduced new characters and it was a waste. My favorite scene was when Asuna woke up. That was my favorite scene. Is when Asuna and Kirito finally got to, meet each other in real life. That was a nice scene. That was a good scene. Too bad it was a it was just kind of just, that ended this season. That was it for the season. And it sucked because it could have been better. It really could have. Fairy Dance could have been a better season. It's just, again, it wasn't rushed. It was just a bad arc. It just wasn't, it could have been better, but they just didn't do enough to make it feel better. It just was, I don't know. It's hard to say because they had the awful sister and she was 90% of it. She was like a replacement for Asuna, and Asuna was still a better character than her. And you have, like, nobody from the last Inkrat season besides a couple people showing up there and there, and they introduced all these new characters and they were all trash. They don't have Clyde, they don't have Mills, they don't have Rika, they don't have any of the original characters. I mean, most of them weren't that, they were pretty bad, but none of them, except Kirito, Asuna, and Yuno. That's it. They have a quick movie, I forget the name, and it was okay. I mean, it was like a filler movie. There's no reason to really talk about this that much, but the movie was okay. It was just kind of there. Gun Gale. A year after Fairy Dance, new incidents occur in a game called Gun Gale Online, where a player by the name of Death Gun appears to be killing people in the real world by shooting them in-game. Approached by officials to assist investigating the murders, Kirito assumes his personnel of Kirito once again, logs into Gun Gale Online, intent on stopping the killer. This is probably my least favorite arc. It introduces Shira or Shino, and I just don't like her. And then the Death Gun villain isn't as bad as the previous villain, but he was still terrible. They try to bring the feel of Inkrat back, where, people are dying in game. But it really isn't people dying in game. They're legit dying in the game. Like, they're dying in real life. They're breaking into their house, killing them in real life, and they're dying, and they look like they're dying in mid-game. Again, the villains were pretty terrible. Kirito, again, just kind of follows that same formula. This time they give him long hair and he has a sword in a gunning game, but whatever. This arc was terrible in my opinion. I hated this arc. This probably is the worst arc, even worse than Fairy Dance arc. Gun Gale really should have, I don't even know what could make this series better. It was just poorly executed. I like the world of Gun Gale. It was a cool world with motorcycles, guns, sabers, and stuff. It's just the Death Gun guy wasn't a really cool villain. He was better than the previous one, but still was terrible. No, like, Asuna wasn't in it. Nobody else was in it besides Kirito and this new character, Shino. And I hated her. She sucks. I still don't like her. I really wish, like, if they would have added the other characters in or something, it could have made it better. And, yeah, it just wasn't a good season or arc. Mother Rosada, or Excalibur. A new duelist with a custom sword skill is defeating all comers. But when Asuna goes to face the duelist, she receives something she never expected, an invitation to an exclusive guild, but what is her aim? This arc, it starts off with Kirito and Asuna and their group, fighting dungeons and getting a new sword, and doing all sorts of stuff. I think it's like 2 episodes of Kirito and Asuna and the group. And it was okay, 2 episodes, but the real arc is when Yuki was introduced, and it was the story of Asuna and Yuki coming together. And it was good. It was better than the last 2 arcs we got. It was interesting, but it was just too short. Again, everything was just rushed. I like the Yuki. She was a cool character. The tournament was rushed. It wasn't even, like, they just showed Yuki beating Kirito. That's it. They didn't even show anything else from the tournament. You have Asuna, who kind of is like, it goes with her, but it's just like, it was rushed, and it could have been way better. Like, again, I like this arc. I actually enjoyed it. The music was good. The opening was fantastic. Yuki was a great character, and her guildmates weren't terrible, but they just didn't expand on them enough to really get you connected with them. They tried to make you feel for Yuki, and it's like, you kind of felt something, but again, you only knew her for, what, like 5-6 episodes? You're supposed to feel something for 6 episodes? And you can, if you're really digging deep, but it just wasn't executed. And it really, if you would have just took those 2 episodes out and made it like that, I would have been fine. And you would have just added 8 episodes or 9 episodes. But they didn't. And that's the shitty part, because it really could have been better. It's just, I really actually liked it following Asuna, because Kirito is such a boring main character. He is. If they would, like, Asuna has something about her that she was cool. Like, she's a cool character, but they just don't use her enough. Or ordinary scale. Asa and the gang convince Kirito to come back for a new game called Original Scale. Once they're inside, they realize it will be anything but fun. This movie looks beautiful. Okay, let me just say it up right here. The movie looks fantastic. It has some good music and some good fan service. They make Asuna use Yuki's 12-hit combo, and I think that was cool. And they bring back the original suits of Kirito and Asuna, but that's about it. So, the premise of this movie is about a scientist who lost his daughter in Inkrad. She died, and he's trying to regain the memories, or regain and reform her in this world. And the boyfriend who played Inkrad, but just sucked at the game, because he wasn't good at games, and he was trying to help the scientist reform her. And in this new world of Original Scale, that it's about physical strength instead of a video game. It goes off your physical attributes in real life. And the shitty part about it is this guy whoops the shit out of Kirito. Like, Kirito gets his ass whooped, and then of course Kirito comes back and whoops him. It's, again, I know Kirito's the main character, but like, maybe have someone help him. this movie tried to do something different, but it really just fails, and it falls into the same formula that all the other seasons have fallen into. Sword Art Online has the same formula in the past 2 seasons and the 2 movies. It's just, the formulas, it gets old when you keep watching it, and you keep seeing the same thing, Kirito winning, not someone else beating the main villain or beating these guys. It's just Kirito. Now, the other arc, you get to see Asuna, but you don't see enough of her throughout any of the other arcs or movies. And that's the shitty part about the movie. The movie, again, looks beautiful. The movie has some good music. I can't say that enough. Like, the movie is really nice. Some high-level quality. Annihilation. Whoo! This arc. Kirito has made a full dive into an epic, fantasy-like virtual world with a murky recollection of what happened right before he logged in. He starts to wander around and search for clues. This arc is by far one of the best ones. It's close to Incrad. And it does do some things new. And the animation quality, oh my god, it's just comparable to original scales. They introduce Ego and Alice, 2 new characters, and they introduce a few new characters also, but they bring back Shiro and Shino. They bring up previous characters as well. But does it do enough to really change it? Yes. I think this Annihilation does, Alice Nation, does enough to change Sword Art Online. Because it was really following the same formula. Same thing over and over. But this arc, I mean, it has it, but they introduced Ego, who's a cool character. He's a cool character, let me just say right now. And there's a certain episode that got a lot of backlash for some reason. A lot of backlash. Just some things in it you have to watch for yourself. I don't think it's bad. I actually like it because they tried new things. Everyone wants the same thing over and over, and I think it was good. It did something different. Annihilation is by far second to Incrad. It's still going, I think. I don't remember if it's only 2 episodes or 13 episodes. I actually don't remember. I believe I haven't watched 13 yet, but it does its job. It's doing really well. I personally like this arc. I just hope they don't split it up like they usually do, because splitting up is stupid, the dumbest thing ever. In conclusion, the pros, they have some really good animation, some good fight scenes, and some good ass fucking music. Most of the openings for the series are fantastic. Besides Gun Gales, I didn't like Ignite. And they have some decent characters. But, I mean, you follow the main boring Kirito, who's just a generic OP character in a video game world, but you've already seen that done better. You've seen it by One Punch Man, an OP character who's OP. You've seen a video game world like fucking Overlord. Overlord is an OP video game world, and it's done fantastically. And Kirito's just bland. He's doesn't change. They tried the new things in the newest season, and I like that. But everyone else, like Asuna, she changes a little bit with Yuki and her death and all sorts of stuff. Asuna changes, so that is something nice. But all the other characters, Klein, Rika, Shino, all the other characters, Miles, they're just okay. They're not expanded on. You don't care about them. And you don't really think there's gonna be people dying. You don't. No major character is gonna die in this fucking season or series. You already know it. It's like Fairy Tail. No one will ever die. And there's no emotional tension there. You know what I mean? Like, you know someone's not gonna die when Kirito shows up, or Kirito's gonna beat somebody, because he's the main character. I get it. But, like, it just sucks because I actually, when I first watched this series, I enjoyed it. I really did. It gave me the spark to watch more anime. It really was. Sword Art Online holds a special place in my heart because it opened me the world to anime. Yes, I watched a few animes before Sword Art Online, but Sword Art Online was the first anime that really sparked that anime in me and make me awaken and start watching more. It really was, and that's why I hold a special place for it, because it really was the one that started it for me. But the series, if you compare it to other animes, or if you just, there's animes out there that do it better. They do it better. It's simple. I really wish Sword Art Online would have followed Inkrad's story more instead of 13 episodes. I really know that could have been, and Sword Art Online could have been a great. It really could have. It could have been a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 done right, but just falls short. They try to like make short arcs and they just fail. They fail miserably. Most of them don't do well. And that's the biggest problem. Again, has really good music, has fantastic fights, has some really good animations in the newer seasons and movie, and that's about it. The story's okay, but they're so short and rushed that you don't care. You just can't. They're so short. How are you supposed to care about something when it's just over in a heartbeat? That is why the final verdict for Sword Art Online is a 6 out of 10. I know people are gonna get mad at me for a 6 out of 10. What is that? How are you giving this series a 6 out of 10? Let me say, I'm really trying to say that Sword Art Online, a 6 out of 10 isn't bad. It's above average. And Sword Art Online could be an average or above average anime. Listen, this is just my opinion. Remember, this is just my opinion. Don't get hurt or offended that I'm giving it a 6. This is just me comparing it to other animes I've watched and just saying there's better ones out there. I really wish Sword Art Online could have been a better series. It's getting better, but I don't think it's going to get off that same formula. And that's the shitty part. Anyways, guys, I do actually hope you guys enjoyed. I tried to, like, expand this. I tried to talk about it as much as I possibly could so you guys know that I actually really enjoyed the series. I hate it, but I don't at the same time, because it really is something that started my anime watching spree. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy, hit that like and subscribe button. Remember, if you want to see more reviews, this is my very first one, and I think it was very appropriate for it to be my first one, because you know why. So, if you guys want to see more, hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys want to see any certain one you guys want, like Goblin Slayer, Fairy Tail, or whatever, just leave it in the comments down below, and I hope you guys have a great day, and catch you in the next one.